Well, if you want more information about explosive anger or hypnotherapy, please go on our website, montelshow.com, and we'll give you more information about Patrick. You can download some of his books and some of his material. We'll also download some other information that you may have.
Like my anger management.
Like your anger management book, which is on our website. So go up on our website and get all the information that you need to help see if you can solve this problem in your own home. Now, you want to know what's coming up tomorrow? Take a look at this.
Tomorrow on Montel, a 15-year-old out of control.
I'm a freaking teenager. I'm trying to live my life.
Sex, drugs, and anger.
I don't want to lose her.
To find out why, Montel will have to push her to the edge.
You're really just out doing any damn thing you please.
I cry every day.
What happens next, every parent must see. That's tomorrow on Montel.
Live from the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
A trip to the store for her medication ends with a brutal mugging. Tonight, a 77-year-old Norfolk woman is telling her story to 10 on your side, hoping for justice. Plus, Hampton police arrest a teenager in a weekend triple shooting. Tonight, see how technology helped them track down the suspect. And sentencing day for Michael Vick.
When Michael gets a second chance, either in society or in the NFL, he will take advantage of it.
The Newport News native is ordered to serve 23 months in prison on federal dogfighting charges. Tonight, 10 on Your Side has live team coverage of this developing story.
And that is our top story tonight at 5. Good evening, I'm Stephanie Harris in for Nicole Livas.
And I'm Tom Shad. Today, a judge sentenced Michael Vick to 23 months in prison on federal dogfighting conspiracy charges. Vick pleaded guilty back in August, then turned himself to start serving time last month. It all began with a call to 10 on Your Side. Back in April, viewers called us after spotting federal investigators on Vick's Surrey County property. Chopper 10 was overhead as they uncovered a major dogfighting operation. 10 on Your Side's Lori Crouch was in the courtroom today in Richmond. She leads off tonight's team coverage. Lori.
Tom, Vick was facing 5 years in prison when he entered Judge Henry Hudson's courtroom this morning. He was sentenced to 23 months and with good behavior could be out in 18. The Michael Vick in court today was not the same man we've seen over the last year.
Gone are the designer suits. Michael Vick now dressed in a black and white striped prison jumpsuit. Flanked by his attorneys, he looked tired. His mother, brother, and girlfriend sat a row behind him. Prior to sentencing, Vick's attorneys pleaded with Judge Henry Hudson for leniency. They say Vick took responsibility for his role in the dogfighting operation from the start. The marijuana he tested positive for in September, said attorney Billy Martin, was self-medicating to deal with the strain of the investigation. But Hudson not moved, calling Vick, quote, instrumental in the dogfighting operation. Hudson based his decision on Vick's behavior over the course of the investigation, saying he lied several times and only pled guilty after his co-defendants turned on him. After a brief apology to the court, his family, and kids, he was sentenced to 23 months in prison.
Michael will take advantage of this as a learning experience. He now knows that when he returns back to us, that he cannot in any way do anything that would injure an animal or that would otherwise show that he is not a good member of society.
Outside the court, support and silence. Animal rights groups pleased with the outcome but unsure of Vick's sincerity.
All the operations, all the fights that took place would not have been possible without his money and without his commitment to the so-called sport of dogfighting.
During Vick's apology, Judge Hudson interrupted him, saying he should also apologize to the millions of young people who looked up to him. Vick's answer, yes, sir. Coming up at 6, more from court, including thousands of letters written by people like George Foreman, as well as an interview with one animal rights group who is taking custody of 22 of those dogs. Lori Crouch, 10 on Your Side.
Well, today's sentence means Michael Vick will be out of the NFL for at least 2 seasons before he could possibly return. So is his career over? With more on that, we go to our 10 on Your Side's Chris Reckling. Chris?
Stephanie, that's the big question yet to be answered. While Vick's NFL career could very well be in jeopardy, there is a very good chance that we will see Michael Vick play in the National Football League once again. Here's another question. Will he come back as a quarterback or at some other position? We just don't know the answers to those questions, but we do know for sure that before Michael Vick has any chance of playing in the NFL, 3 things must take place. First and foremost, Michael Vick must complete his jail sentence. If Vick gets 3 months reduced from his sentence for good behavior, the 27-year-old could be out of federal prison as soon as July of 2009. That would be about the same time NFL training camp is just getting underway. He would be 29 years old, and while that is still relatively young in football, he would be on the backside of his NFL career. The next important step for Vick is to be reinstated by the league. Vick was suspended indefinitely by NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Once Vick is out of prison, he will meet with Goodell to discuss a possible return to the NFL and a possible league suspension. If Vick is reinstated by Goodell, the next important step is to find a team. There is very little chance that Vick will play for Atlanta. He is yet to be cut by the Falcons, and they don't have to cut him until 2009 at the earliest. On October 10th, an arbitrator ruled Vick owes the Falcons $19.9 million for not fulfilling his contract. If the Falcons cut him, they might lose the ability to reclaim that money. So with the Falcons out of the equation, if Vick plays again, it's up to another team to take the chance. Still, the question remains, will Vick return to play in the National Football League? One thing is for sure, he will be gone for a very long time. A comeback will be very difficult for Vick, but I think one day with a second chance, we'll see him back in the league. Chris Reckling, 10 on your side.
10 on your side has brought you every detail of this story since we broke it in April. Our team coverage continues new at 5:30 and 6. You can also find more information on our website, WAVY.com, including the full statement from Michael Vick's attorney, court papers, and the history of this case.
Well, tonight, a 77-year-old Norfolk woman is recovering from a brutal attack in broad daylight. The muggers took 50 cents in her purse, while doctors almost had to take her leg. Well, now the woman's son is putting up a reward to catch those who did this. 10 on your side's Oren Lieberman has been on this story all day. He's live in Norfolk, not far from where this all happened. Oren.
Tom, Pauline Tittle was walking down this road right down this way with her grandson to pick up some medication when she was attacked by 2 men. She says something she thought would never happen in a neighborhood she's come to know as a quiet community.
Beautiful neighborhood. I wouldn't live anywhere else until now.
On a quiet street in Norfolk, 77-year-old Pauline Tittle was living the retired life.
I was walking up the street with my grandson. We were going to Kmart to get some medication.
But a daylight attack brought Tittle back to work. Pauline was only a few hundred feet from her home when 2 men she'd seen around the neighborhood for about a week crossed the street towards her.
You said, you'd like to give these 2 guys a piece of your mind.
Oh, it's not a piece of my mind, honey. It's my fist.
Pauline was mugged a block from her house. The attack sent her to the hospital where she went through surgery for her hip, broken when she was knocked to the ground. Her new job is to catch the men who did this to her.
They turned the corner and was walking down really good. And then all of a sudden they crossed over and I thought, well, what are they doing on this side? And then right about that time I found out.
Tittle's bag was ripped out of her hands.
They had my Social Security and my Blue Cross Blue Shield federal card, my Medicare card.
And all the money inside, totaling 47 cents.
And they're just going to hurt somebody. Someone's going to put up a struggle eventually. I mean, she's hurt, but we still have her here.
George Tittle there that we saw, that is Pauline's son. He has put up a $1,000 reward for anybody who has information leading to the arrest of these 2 men. Tom, that's in addition to the Crime Line reward of up to $1,000. If anyone has information, call the Crime Line at 1-888-LOCK-YOU-UP.
All right, thanks a lot, Oren. A lot of people will be on the lookout for sure. Thank you.
Hampton police say a murder suspect is off the streets, all thanks to some high-tech help. Police say 17-year-old Keith Lunsford broke into a home in the Cordoba apartment Saturday, shooting 3 people inside. 38-year-old Kristen Hunter was killed. Police arrested Lunsford this morning after using a global positioning satellite, or GPS, as well as cell phone use to track him down. 10 on your side's Ava Hurdle is live in Hampton with the very latest. Ava?
Stephanie, police say in court papers that their investigation shows 1 person committed these crimes. Evidence technicians left their mark on the front door of the apartment where police say 38-year-old Kristen Hunter was shot to death and where a 50-year-old man and a 37-year-old man were wounded early Sunday. A neighbor who gives the name Gail says she's in shock.
I didn't hear a thing. My roommate, she didn't hear anything. That's what's so strange. You know, the next thing I knew, I saw flashlights and police out here. And that's all I know. The lady that was shot, her mother is the rental manager over at the office.
She says the wounded men were an ex-husband and a boyfriend. The 3 people were shot after a break-in. Police identify the suspect as 17-year-old Keith Lunsford and released his picture as they tried to find him, to the anger of his father, Keith Sr.
My son is 17 years old, he a juvenile. They had no business putting his picture on the news or in the newspaper.
Joey Veal, who lives nearby, says he's keeping a closer watch.
Me and a couple friends are now looking out for suspicious things that might go on to try and keep everybody safe, because there's children that live here too, beside us adults.
Veal says he's definitely going to be more aware of his surroundings from here on out. Now, at last check, the 17-year-old had not been charged, and we're told the deadly shooting victim leaves a teenager behind. Reporting live from Hampton tonight, I'm Ava Hurdle, 10 on your side.
Well, tonight, 10 on your side is tracking a developing weather story. We have record-setting heat for December. You loving it?
This is one that we like, actually. This is live now from our tower cam. Temperatures topped out in the mid-70s today. Chief Meteorologist Don Slater is in the Super Doppler 10 Weather Center. Am I still in Orlando? I'm just curious about this.
Yeah, you're back. Yeah, Tom brought some of that with him. Yeah, it's very, very unusually warm. In fact, not only mid-70s, it was upper 70s into some areas. Beautiful, beautiful day. Here's what's going on out there. In terms of those record highs, it hit 77 in Norfolk and Elizabeth City, even Chincoteague. Surrounded by cold water, hit 69 degrees. Richmond with 79 degrees. So again, very, very unusually warm, record-breaking warmth for this time of year. But look at the temperature right now at Wallops Island, Chincoteague, 49 degrees. We've seen a temperature drop there, but it's still well into the 70s throughout most of the rest of the area. Now, one other thing to note, and that is that we are going to see temperatures cool off just slightly for tomorrow, and there's a slight chance of rain, especially for the northern neck, the middle peninsula, and the eastern shore, closer to where that cool area is over the Chincoteague area right now. We'll talk about what we can expect. Some more record warmth. Well, we're going to come close. We'll tell you all about it in a few minutes.
All right, Don. Well, tonight, 6 people have no place to call home after an early morning house fire in Chesapeake. It began just after 4 a.m. on McKinley Avenue in the Bainbridge area. That's where someone apparently left a cigarette unattended. The resulting fire did about $100,000 damage. No one was hurt. Beach fire officials have a warning for area homeowners following this scene. Crews responded to this fire along Gilling Court before midnight Sunday. Embers from a backyard fire pit started the flames here. Officials say if you have one of these fire pits, keep them at least 20 feet from your home. Also, only use the fire pit on a non-combustible surface such as concrete.
Tomorrow, voters go to the polls on the peninsula to fill the congressional seat left empty after Joanne Davis's death. The 1st District Congresswoman died in October from breast cancer. Tonight, 10 on your side political reporter Andy Fox examines 2 of the most important issues in this race, working with the military and Iraq.
And he's also an Iraqi war veteran.
When you receive a get out the vote call from the Philip Forget campaign, well, Iraq is the first issue you hear about.
And this district is heavily military. We're dependent on it. A lot of bases, a lot of military industry, and I think we need that perspective in Congress.
Democrat Philip Forget, Navy reservist, Iraqi Army advisor.
I think we got to continue to do the types of things I did in Iraq, which was as an advisor to the Iraqi Army, standing their troops up so they can take over areas of responsibility for their own security. And
Forget notes that as his main qualification to serve in Washington.
I've got as good a chance as anybody else in the selection.
Independent Lucky Narain claims his status as an Army reservist qualifies him.
Military is my life. It has been my life. And for the residents of this district, military is everything for them also. They're veterans in every area of this district.
Republican Rob Whitman serves in the House of Delegates and is the only one with previous political experience. He did not serve in the military.
When we maintain security, I think at that point, yes, bring our troops home, take them out of combat situations, but make sure that we don't leave the country in chaos.
As a member of the House of Delegates, Whitman says he knows how to represent military bases and has 2 in his district.
They are at Dahlgren. We put together $3 million to build a Virginia Educational Center there to make sure that there are advanced degrees for the science and engineers, or science and technology folks and engineers there on base.
Whitman also claims to have commitments. If elected, he will serve on the all-important House Armed Services Committee, taking the committee seat of Republican Congresswoman Joanne Davis, whose death forces this special election. I'm political reporter Andy Fox.
And the polls are open from 6 a.m. until 7 p.m. tomorrow. You can find more information about the locations and the candidates on our website, WAVY.com. And coming up, the most controversial issue in this race concerns promises one candidate made and is accused of breaking. That story new at 5:30.
Well, ahead at 5, a weekend church service ends in gunfire. Now, police are investigating a possible connection between 2 deadly shootings in Colorado.
And what's in this tube can help hundreds of patients in Hampton roads every day, but doctors can't get enough of it. We'll explain why.
Then, high school students accused of trying to poison their teacher. Was it a prank that got out of hand or something sinister? That story new at 5:30.
You're watching WAVY News 10 live from the station on your side.
This group, come on!
It's not easy going it alone. That's why we're making it easier than ever to get a State Farm agent for car insurance. In Norfolk, call State Farm agents Bill Bowman or John Workman 24/7. Stop by or go to statefarm.com. Online, on the phone, or in the office. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, Vito! You want cheesesteak? Hey, cheesesteak! Cheesesteak! What? Yeah. Yo, we got burgers. Hey, what's a burger? Hey, Pop, he wants a cheesesteak and a burger on $1.
We do that? We don't do that.
We don't do that.
The Philly Cheesesteak Thick Burger at Hardee's.
WAVY News 10, your most watched source for local news.
You need to go. You need to go.
Investigating a possible scam so large, state authorities get involved. On your side, keeping you safe from recalled toys on local store shelves. On your side, exposing the hazards of 2 area bridges. And on your side, alerting you to a site selling pills without a prescription.
That doesn't seem right.
That's the power of 10 on your side. Closed captioning is brought to you by Bruce's Super Body Shops. You don't pay more, you just get more at Bruce's.
Sit. Stay. Don't you wish Congress listened as well as these dogs do? I'm Rob Whitman. I think we need a new direction and some common sense. We've got a crisis on immigration, but they won't solve it. Our military needs training and equipment, but they won't fund it. We need a change. I'm Rob Whitman. I approve this message, and I need your help on December 11th. Good girl, Katie. Good girl.
Oh, I have the worst cold.
Here, take some NyQuil. It'll relieve your symptoms to help you sleep.
Huh?
Yeah, you'll sleep like a bit. You'll sleep like a sleep like you did before the rooster went blind.
NyQuil.
I'll take that.
The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, best sleep you ever got with a cold medicine. For daytime symptoms, try DayQuil.
At Priority Pest Services, you're our #1 priority. Call today for a free home inspection from Priority Pest Services, WAVY's expert on your side. Other specials and discounts at WAVY.com.
This segment of WAVY News 10 is brought to you by KFC.
Okay, 24 wrapping paper, check. 25 ribbon, check. 26 thank you cards.
Mom, we got dinner from KFC.
Even cake.
It's all taken care of, so relax.
Dinner together, check.
The new KFC Festive Feast. 10 pieces of KFC chicken, 2 home-style sides, 6 biscuits, a Pepsi Mega Jug, and a double chocolate chip cake. Bring back dinner with a festive feast from KFC.
In news across the nation, police released the name of the gunman in a pair of deadly shootings in Colorado. Investigators say 23-year-old Matthew Murray was responsible for the attacks at 2 religious facilities yesterday morning. One of those shootings happened in the Denver suburb of Arvada, the other in Colorado Springs. Police say early Sunday, Murray walked into a missionary training center in Arvada and shot 4 people, killing 2. Then, 12 hours later in Colorado Springs, police say Murray opened fire on churchgoers at the New Life Church, killing 2 teenage sisters before a volunteer security guard shot and killed them.
Her role at the church was to provide security, and she did her job yesterday. She's a real hero.
Well, police say that security guard may have saved as many as 100 lives, given the amount of ammunition that Murray was carrying.
Today, a final farewell to daredevil Evel Knievel. A funeral was held for the legendary stuntman in Butte, Montana. After the ceremony, the funeral procession made its way through town along a 6-mile loop known as Evel Knievel Way. Now, Knievel made detailed plans for his funeral. Last night, you see there, his coffin was greeted by a fireworks display. He died in Florida November 30th after years of failing health. He was 69 years old. Topping health headlines tonight, problems at a nuclear reactor in Canada are forcing doctors here in Hampton Roads to change how they perform some medical tests. Now, inside this vial is a nuclear element that's used to help diagnose and treat cancer, heart disease, bone disease, and more. It's injected into a patient before a scan so doctors can see tumors or other blockages. Radiology Services of Hampton Roads supplies it to all Hampton Roads hospitals. And pharmacist John Tabb says since the Canadian site closed last month for repairs, he can only get half of what he needs.
And he would think that we could put a reactor in this country, and I guess some of the environmental pressure has been, holding that back. But maybe this will move that forward.
Local hospitals say no patients have been impacted by the shortage yet. Tabb says doctors are now using an older compound to perform cardiac tests. That leaves enough radioactive element for other scans and treatments.
Always live, always on your side. Super Doppler 10.
Okay, Super Doppler 10 Live. There is a little bit of rain headed toward the northern neck. Nothing real big and not expected to be real big. But it gives us a hint as to what's going on. There's a front draped right about through here. It's just approaching the Melfa area along the eastern shore. There's a northerly breeze alongside of that and north of that. To the south of that front, we've got a west-southwesterly breeze and very warm air. Obviously, there's cooler air right on up into here. It'll be dropping on in a little bit later on tonight. But it's not going to hang around that long. Here's what's going on in terms of cloud cover as well. We've seen a little bit of cloud cover off and on, but obviously a very nice day. Record-breaking warmth, 77. The old record was 73 back in 1987, so it's a 20-year-old record. Now that front draws a little bit closer by 9 o'clock this evening. Still a little bit of rain associated with that. Just a slight chance of rain at 9 o'clock for most of the area, perhaps a little bit more for the eastern shore. Southwesterly breeze at 10 to 15 miles an hour. That front drops slowly through the area during the overnight hours, and then tomorrow rides back northward as a warm front. So temperatures will drop overnight in the first part of the day tomorrow, warm back on up, and then for Wednesday again late in the day they're going to drop back on down. The front is going to lollygag around over the top of us for a couple of days. It'll really bounce our temperatures around, but when they're up, they're really up like they were today. 77 again, new record high. Temperatures right now between around 70, 74 degrees. There's our low last night, 59. High temperatures throughout the area, 75 even at Melfa along the eastern shore, 81 at Williamsburg and Emporia. Unbelievably warm for this time of year. And our current temperatures, well, it's starting to cool back on down into the Wallops Island Chincoteague area, 49 degrees. Otherwise, it's into the 70s. But remember, a cool front is out there, and it is going to cool things on down. It'll cool things down to 50 to 55 tonight, but then tomorrow, still warm in northeast North Carolina. We move up the coastline, south side, 73 to 77 into some inland areas. Morning cloud cover, some afternoon, late afternoon clearing, 72 to 75, and then for points northward, still a little bit cooler, but still not bad, 64 to 70. Average it out, well, 73, but it's all over the place between 60 and 77. Nice and warm coming up on Wednesday, and then we cool down toward the end of the week. And Tom Shad, you brought some of that Orlando weather with us.
But, loving it.
Yeah, but you're from the Pittsburgh area?
Yes, I am. It's a lot colder up there now.
Well, we got some of that.
Okay.
Well, welcome, Tom, to WAVY News 10. We're so happy to have you here.
It's a pleasure for me to be here.
All right, great.
I love it. Well, when it comes to Christmas trees, there are two schools of thought.
That's right, but which one is more environmentally friendly? 10 on your side takes on the debate of real versus fake next.
And he lost his legs at birth, but this little guy is not letting that stop him. Hear why he ran parts of a marathon. New at 5:30.
I'm Philip Forget, candidate for Congress, and I approve this ad. I served my country in Iraq as a naval reservist. I served my community as a public school teacher. I'm not a career politician. We need to bring an end to the Iraq War and bring a veteran's perspective to Congress. If you want real change, you have to choose something different. I'm a veteran and a teacher, not a career politician. It's your choice. I'm Philip Forget.
The Chevy Red Tag event is really shaking things up with great offers this season. And while supplies last, get 0% financing on almost every 07 Chevy car, pickup, and SUV. That's 0% financing for 60 months for well-qualified buyers on almost every 07 Chevy pickup while supplies last. See some red and save some green during the Chevy Red Tag event. Click on Chevy.com, then go to your local Chevy dealer.
When you shop for appliances at the big chains, you're going to find prices way up here. At East Coast Appliance, we think that's way too high. So our everyday low prices are way down here. And you'll find our low prices on everything from Amana to Viking, GE to Genair. And if that's not low enough, our warehouse is full of scratch and dent appliances too. East Coast Appliance, the discount king. I've always been afraid of high places and high prices.
NFL on NBC is right here on WAVY TV 10 every Sunday beginning at 7.
Hyundai's best offer ever just got better. 0% APR financing for 72 months on every new 08 Hyundai Sonata, 07 Azera, and Tucson. 0% for 72 months, plus $500 bonus cash on Sonata, all with America's best warranty.
Get Hyundai's best offer ever. 0% APR financing for 72 months on new 08 Sonatas, 07 Azeras, and Tucsons during the Big Duh Holiday Sales Event at your Hyundai dealer.
Goodman & Sons Jewelers, a family tradition since 1947.
Reggie's wife just found something at Intellos that'll fill him with holiday cheer.
Wow.
Huge savings.
You might as well get a phone for everyone then.
Now it's like he's finding money everywhere he looks. And now's the time to get phones for your whole family too. At our biggest sale of the year, 12 phones for under $50 each, including a Crazer for just $29.99. So hurry into Intellos, the best value in wireless guaranteed.
Your mother's coming?
Across the Commonwealth, Virginians rely on Farm Bureau for all their insurance needs. When you join Virginia Farm Bureau, your membership grants you the personal treatment missing in today's insurance industry, like face-to-face conversation. And when you have a claim, we get you on the road to recovery fast. Plus, your membership supports Virginia's farmers who put food on our tables daily. At Farm Bureau, we understand insurance, but more importantly, we understand people.
There's a new player in town stepping up the game.
Hi, this is A1C Nicole Brown, stationed in Southwest Asia from Chesapeake, Virginia, and I'd just like to give a shout out to my mom, my dad, my sister Nikia, my brother Jamar, Corinne, Corey, so the rest of my family and friends. Happy holidays, I love you, and I can't wait to see you.
You know, it seems like everything is tinted green these days.
Not just because of the holiday season, but because more consumers are considering environmental issues when making a purchase. So, which kind of Christmas tree is greener, the real or the fake? There are points to both sides now. Real trees absorb carbon.
Because they're continually replanted, it's a renewable resource.
More pluses for pine. They are recyclable. Hope I could say that right. Locally grown, and they don't require as much fuel for shipping as, say, a boat from China.
Right, but artificial trees have benefits as well.
The best reason to use an artificial Christmas tree is that you can reuse it.
Other reasons to use artificial arbor: they are partially made from recycled materials. There's no mess, and they're good for folks with allergies. But I still miss the smell. All right, new at 5:30, what's next for Michael Vick?
We now know how long he'll be in prison, but will he return to the football field? We'll take a closer look next at 5:30.
We need a car. Can you help us?
That'd be 3,000 down.
No, it's a plane.
Yeah, it's 300 down, man. And
He is 300 down man. He approves credit faster than a speeding bullet. He leaps over bad credit in a single bound.
Off to the Auto Connection for in-house financing. Visit us at theautoconnection.com.
See me, Mac. If your credit is
More and more shoppers in Hampton Roads are discovering it's a fresh new day at their neighborhood Food Lion.
They love the wider selection and extra convenience of our expanded meat and produce departments, as well as our revamped delis and bakeries. And when you shop with your MVP card, you'll be entered to win a fresh new kitchen. It's never been easier or more enjoyable to save your family money when you shop for groceries. See store flyer for details. It's a fresh new day at your Hampton Roads Food Lion.
You'll see how much money you could save when you go to geico.com and get your free rate quote. Then, of course, you've got a decision to make, ain't you? Eh? Do I buy online, over the phone, or just pop by the local Geico office? It's not a bad position to be in, really. It's like, I don't know, the Queen wants to know whether you'd rather have dinner at the palace or the castle. Either way, you're having filet mignon.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Do you get some popcorn? I don't mind. Get a big one, we'll share it.
You're not just a fan, you're a football fanatic. You wear your favorite player's jersey to work on game day. You bought a Chevy Tahoe in your team's colors. And we know you fantasize about winning the championship. Well, now you can. Sign up for the Chevy Redskins Home Team Challenge and play fantasy football for free at WAVY.com. Each week's winner receives an authentic Redskins jersey, and the champion takes home an authentic Redskins helmet. The Redskins Home Team Challenge, brought to you by your local Chevy dealers.
See traffic conditions before you leave the house. Log on to WAVY.com anytime and select from over 200 jam cams. See live traffic reports with up-to-the-minute delays, details on which routes are congested, even bridge lifts. Select a map of your route and handpick a traffic jam cam to see conditions right now. Log on to WAVY.com to get live traffic conditions in your area. WAVY Traffic Jam Cams, part of 10 Time Saver Traffic. Brought to you by Kim Knock Ford, leading the way.
The Chevy Red Tag event is really shaking things up with great offers this season. And while supplies last, get 0% financing on almost every 07 Chevy car, pickup, and SUV. That's 0% financing for 60 months for well-qualified buyers on almost every 07 Chevy pickup while supplies last. See some red and save some green during the Chevy Red Tag event. Click on Chevy.com, then go to your local Chevy dealer.
You're watching WAVY News 10. Here's what's new at 5:30.
4 days ago, it was snowing in parts of Hampton roads. Tonight, pull out those shorts. So what's up with the weather and our record warmth? Michael Vick is sentenced to nearly 2 years in prison. So what does that mean for his NFL career? And he's running for a reason. The heartwarming story of the 6-year-old amputee.
Live from the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
Our top story tonight at 5:30 is the weather. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alvita Yule.
And I'm Stephanie Harris. Today's warm weather is one for the record books, and we have live team coverage tonight. Meteorologist Cheryl Nelson is the lucky one. She gets to be outside in it.
Yes, you do. But first, we start with Chief Meteorologist Don Slater, who's inside right now in the Weather Center. And you're taking a look at just how warm it's already been. And is it still going to be warm tonight?
Well, yes, it is for a while. It's going to be warm during the evening hours. They're going to cool down, but then warm right back on up during the overnight hours. There is a front out there, and you can see a few stray showers on off toward the northern neck. But really, that front extends right about through here, and that should drop southward during the evening and overnight hours. It'll cool us off briefly, but it's going to warm right back on up again by tomorrow afternoon. Today, Norfolk was 77, shattered the old record of 73 degrees set back in 1987. 77 Elizabeth City, even Chincoteague, all the way on up on the northern portion of Virginia's eastern shore with 69 degrees surrounded by water. So again, unbelievably warm, and it's still pretty mild out there. High temperatures, again, between around 75 all the way on up to 81 degrees in Williamsburg and Emporia. Now, it was an absolutely beautiful day. Days like this don't come often in December 10th. Cheryl Nelson is live in Portsmouth now. And Cheryl, there were some folks enjoying this weather today.
Oh, yeah, Don. I would have been outside today if I could have. Hard to believe that it is mid-December. We get temperatures today in the 70s. Doesn't look like it. Look at the tree behind me. Yeah, no leaves on the tree. So kind of weird to have temperatures in the 70s, and it certainly looks like winter. But again, a lot of people took advantage of this beautiful weather and spent the afternoon outside today. This video is from Chesapeake. Kids swinging on the swings, kids running around on the playground. Great to be a kid on a day like today. Lots of sunshine, some kids in some t-shirts, even a couple in some flip-flops that I saw today, and other kids really not knowing what to wear, so they stuck with the typical long sleeve shirts because that's what you're supposed to wear in December in Hampton Roads. Now, I did some research today and I actually learned that 70-degree or better days in January, December, February are not all that uncommon. In fact, in Norfolk, 95% of all meteorological winters, which means January, December, and February, I keep saying those out of order, have 70-degree or better days. And over the past 30 years, Norfolk averages 6 days of 70 degrees or better temperatures in December, January, and February. So certainly some interesting information there. I, for one, did not mind it. I left my coat at home today, and outside now it's still quite warm out here. So if you can, get outside and enjoy this gorgeous weather here this evening.
All right. Thanks a lot, Cheryl.
Tonight, 2 freshmen at a local high school are accused of trying to poison one of their teachers. And as 10 on your side's Katie Collette reports, police say if they're tried as adults, they could face significant jail time.
And kids obviously will be kids, but you know, this is serious.
It happened Thursday afternoon. James City police were called to Lafayette High School after the automotive shop teacher noticed something was wrong with his coffee. He went to the nurse because his mouth wouldn't stop burning.
Our investigation led us to 2 students at the school who apparently had placed Lysol in the coffee cup.
There's no word on how much Lysol the students are accused of spraying in the 51-year-old teacher's cup, but the Lysol product safety team tells 10 on your side if more than a tablespoon is ingested, you can have gastrointestinal problems. More than an ounce is like drinking too much alcohol.
Anytime you're doing something like this, either whether it was malicious or whether it was a prank, and kind of what we're getting right now that is probably lean more toward the prank, just bad idea. Don't do something like that.
Now, the 14 and 16-year-old boys involved are suspended for 10 days. But if they're tried as adults, police say a suspension and possible expulsion are the least of their worries.
It's a Class 3 felony. It is serious. It's 5 to 20 in the penitentiary if you're convicted of it.
In Williamsburg, Katie Collette, 10 on your side.
Teachers at Lafayette now have to lock cleaning supplies up and also been told not to leave any coffee mugs out in the open. Meanwhile, the school board is waiting for the police to finish the investigation before deciding if the 2 boys will be expelled.
Lower court judges can now give shorter prison sentences when it comes to crack cocaine cases. The move by the Supreme Court stems from a Norfolk case where a 1991 Gulf War veteran was sentenced to 15 years in prison for crack cocaine. Today's ruling reduces disparity between sentences for crack cocaine and powder cocaine. Critics say punishment guidelines were racially discriminatory since crack is a more urban and minority drug than the more expensive powder cocaine.
There's a fight brewing over a $1 fee to add to vehicle registrations to help fund the 400th anniversary events for Jamestown. Attorney General Bob McDonnell wants lawmakers to eliminate the fee, which is set to expire next June. However, some lawmakers want to keep it and use the money for other expenses. The fee raised nearly $4 million a year to fund the 18-month series of events marking the founding of America's first permanent English settlement. Well, we all know the saying, a promise is a promise.
One of the candidates in tomorrow's election for the 1st District congressional race says the other candidate broke his promise. 10 on your side's political reporter Andy Fox has the story.
It's my given name. My mother didn't know she can have children, and when she gave birth to me, she called me Lucky.
His name is Lucky Narain, the independent candidate who calls himself a conservative and is aggressively challenging fellow conservative and Republican nominee, State Delegate Rob Whitman.
If I'm going to say that I'm not going to raise taxes, then I'm going to do everything I can not to raise taxes.
Narain blasts Whitman for signing this pledge not to raise taxes, then voted to raise taxes for the new transportation plan.
I don't know where he got that from.
Well, you may not know where he got it from. My question is, did you sign that? Is that your signature?
That looks similar to my signature, but I won't say that I recognize it.
10 on your side told Narain of Whitman's response, and Narain questions Whitman's truthfulness concerning the signature on the pledge.
This is the pledge. Did you sign your name to this pledge?
No. The wording that I signed was different from that.
Narain says it is exactly the same pledge Whitman gave to then 1st District Republican Party Chairman Russ Moulton and the Republican Party during Whitman's 2005 run for the House of Delegates. I will oppose and vote against any and all efforts to increase taxes. But you're saying to me, Delegate, that you never signed your name to this.
I'm saying that the verbiage that I put together and signed is different from what's being presented.
Okay, but
Yes,
did
sir.
you sign something like this?
I signed something similar to that, yes, that said that I would oppose tax increases, and that balancing budgets and looking at other ways to reduce spending are the ways to address our fiscal issues.
I'm political reporter Andy Fox.
A 10 on your side called the former chair of the 1st District Republican Party, Russ Moulton. He did not return our call. Tomorrow, the polls are open from 6 a.m. until 7 p.m. You can find full information on where to vote and on the candidates on our website, WAVY.com. Michael Vick is sentenced to 23 months in prison. So what does that mean for his NFL future? We're going to take a closer look coming up.
Also ahead, an upset employee puts lives at risk after sabotaging one city's ambulance fleet. We'll show you what he's accused of doing.
And I'm Tom Shadd. Here's a look at what we're working on in the newsroom right now. New tonight on WAVY News 10 at 6, a teenager's arrested in the weekend triple shooting, all thanks to some high-tech help. Tonight, see how police tracked down the suspect. And a 77-year-old woman attacked in broad daylight. Tonight, from her hospital bed, she's telling her story only to 10 on your side. These stories begin at 6, so keep it right here.
You're watching WAVY News 10 live from the station on your side.
Drive through for a better toasted sub, like our new meatball and chicken parmesan toasted subs. Made with savory meatballs or 100% natural chicken, covered with marinara and melted mozzarella, and served on toasted ciabatta bread. One bite will have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
When you shop for appliances at the big chains, you're going to find prices way up here. At East Coast Appliance, we think that's way too high. So our everyday low prices are way down here. And you'll find our low prices on everything from Amana to Viking, GE to Genair. And if that's not low enough, our warehouse is full of scratch and dent appliances too. East Coast Appliance, the discount king. I've always been afraid of high places and high prices.
Find your car at WAVY.com. Great deals from the dealers in Hampton Roads, where they're only just a click away. From the comfort of home or anywhere, find your next car or truck today. You can search by make and model or by payment to compare prices, save money, get a quote for you. Click and save your money and time when you find your car at WAVY.com.
Drive through for a better toasted sub, like our new meatball and chicken parmesan toasted subs. Made with savory meatballs or 100% natural chicken, covered with marinara and melted mozzarella, and served on toasted ciabatta bread. One bite will have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
To you by Bruce's Super Body Shops. You don't pay more, you just get more at Bruce's.
In news across the nation tonight, 3 people are dead after a house fire. It happened in Gaithersburg, Maryland this morning. The 13-year-old boy is the only survivor. His 5-year-old brother, mother, and grandmother all died in that fire. Investigators say the fire seems to have started in the living room, where there were Christmas decorations and a religious display that may have included candles.
A disgruntled employee admits to putting sugar in the gas tanks of 20 ambulances in Lake Worth, Florida. Police say someone broke into the parking lot last week and dumped heavy sugar water into the vehicle's tanks. The next morning, 3 ambulances stalled while answering medical calls. Police say they're waiting for an estimate of damages before filing charges against that employee.
And now to a story that's definitely going to tug at your heartstrings a bit. Take a look at this. This is 6-year-old Cody McCaslin. Now, over the weekend, the WMQT ran portions of a marathon in Dallas, Texas. Cody lost both of his legs to a birth defect and has had prosthetic legs since he was 2. One of the beneficiaries of the race was the Children's Hospital, where Cody was a patient, and he took part in the race as a thank you to the staff.
What a cutie.
Yes. Coming up, we now know how long Michael Vick's federal sentence is, so what does that mean for his football career?
And an ice storm paralyzes parts of the plains. We'll take you there and show you the damage.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Richard McClure in Southwest Asia. I wanted to say hello to Christy, Seth, and Lindsay back in Virginia. I love you guys and miss you guys, and you guys have wonderful birthdays, which I'm missing, and wonderful holidays. God bless you all. I love you very much and miss you.
Sit. stay. Don't you wish Congress listened as well as these dogs do? I'm Rob Whitman. I think we need a new direction and some common sense. We've got a crisis on immigration, but they won't solve it. Our military needs training and equipment, but they won't fund it. We need a change. I'm Rob Whitman. I approve this message, and I need your help on December 11th. Good girl, Katie. Good girl.
Today's Mega Millions jackpot, $115 million. Drawings Tuesday and Friday nights at 11. Subscribe now at VALottery.com.
Happy holidays!
Hey, honey! We got a Virginia Lottery New Year's Millionaire raffle ticket!
Great! We can move away from that old lady next door.
Share your luck this holiday season with the New Year's Millionaire raffle ticket from the Virginia Lottery.
Well, one day I was going through some bills of mine. Ran across a couple of bills I thought I had paid that week, and I found out I didn't pay them that week. When I came to the door, they all greeted me. They were smiling, and they was very polite. Well, I know it. They took care of me, and I was on my way out.
I'd spent a little more money than expected. I went into Speedy Cash, and they were able to help me get the money I needed. I would definitely recommend all friends and family to Speedy Cash, as they are the fastest in the business.
Come on down to Speedy Cash. We'll always be here when you need us.
I'm most passionate about helping
tried to work hard and try to be full. I'm motivated.
WAVY TV and our partners on your side continue to recognize excellence in Hampton Roads young people. Students like Marcus Miller.
A philosophy that my dad has always told me is work hard, strive to the fullest. So I've always tried to work hard and strive to the fullest in my community and in school.
Ambition, dedication, and the ability to overcome challenges define our young achievers. All honorees are eligible for a scholarship. Nominate a deserving student today.
Today, former Vice President Al Gore received the Nobel Peace Prize for his dedication and commitment to climate change. During an interview before he received the award, Gore said climate change has not received the priority it deserves. He also said it will take the time before people see the issue as critical to the Earth's survival.
The penalties for ignoring this challenge are immense and growing, and at some near point would be unsustainable and unrecoverable. For now, we still have the power to choose our fate. And the remaining question is only this: have we the will to act vigorously and in time, or will we remain imprisoned by a dangerous illusion?
Gore went on to say the people must act now to make sure there will be a future for the human race. Gore is the 99th person to receive that award. And while we're enjoying record warmth today, it's quite a different story in the plains. This is around Oklahoma City today, and right now nearly 500,000 homes are without power across the state. People are cleaning up the trees and branches that have already fallen. In Tulsa, power has been out in the airport there for most of the day. 13 deaths are now being blamed on the storm in Oklahoma alone, but there's ice storm damage in Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, and Illinois as well.
Always live, always on your side. Super Doppler 10.
And it's December 10th. We got a poinsettia that Cheryl Nelson brought in. We were all calling it the Charlie Brown poinsettia. Anyway, take a look at what's going on Super Doppler 10 Live. We do have a little bit of rain out there. It's toward the northern neck. And again, it's not likely to be much of anything in terms of real big rainfall. But it's December 10th, and we got temperatures way on up into the 70s. We have a live look at what's going on with this whole situation. And you can see, again, some of that scattered, for the most part, light rain. We move on in for a closer look. In Reedville area, you're going to get some scattered light rain. But the biggest story about all of this is the fact that there is a front out there right about through here, and that front will continue southward during the evening and overnight hours. And there is a southerly wind or southwesterly ahead of it and more of a northerly wind behind it. So it is going to cool off overnight, and we could see some patchy fog with that as well. And some of that fog could be pretty thick as well. Okay, take a look at what's going on. Well, will our temperature change? Yes, it will. It'll change a little bit. I talked about that front being right about through here. It'll drop a little bit farther southward by 9 o'clock this evening. Could have some scattered rainfall with it. Southwesterly winds 10 to 15 miles in here, but more of a northerly wind on the other side of it, and some cooler air. It's already around 48, 49 degrees at Chincoteague. So again, temperatures are dropping the farther northward that we go. Now by 2 o'clock in the morning, some of that cooler air has enveloped the area, and we will see some patchy dense fog overnight. Now it drops a little bit farther southward by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. but it starts coming back northward. And really, by the end of the day, we're going to warm right back on up into the low 70s through much of the area. In fact, even upper 70s into northeast North Carolina, inland areas for tomorrow. So we've still got some warm air, a little bit of cool air overnight, first part of the day, and then it'll warm up again during the day for tomorrow. Here's where we are by Wednesday morning, and Wednesday we could see another record high. The record for that date is 75. We could come close or above that. Here's where we are at the noon hour, but then by the evening hours, that cool air is trying to drop on through again. What's out there right now? A little bit of thin cloud cover throughout the area, and that thin cloud cover not holding back much heat. We've had plenty of sunshine during the day today. Here's what's going on out there right now, 70 to 74 degrees. There's our high for the day, late word. We got it at 78 degrees was the high temperature for the day right now. Again, you can see at Chincoteague, Wallops Island with 48 degrees right now. So we are going to see things cool off for the rest of us. There's where things are for tomorrow. But really, it'll be between 60 to the north, all the way up to 77 degrees farther southward. The average is 73, and then 77 degrees coming up by Wednesday. Could be another record breaker for Wednesday.
Thanks, Don. Since a federal judge sentenced Michael Vick to 23 months in prison earlier today, many people have been asking, what does this mean to his NFL career? Daily Press sports reporter Dave Fairbanks joins us now from our Peninsula Bureau. And Dave, we're going to get to that, his future in just a moment. But first, you were in the court this morning. What was Vick's reaction when he heard the sentence?
Well, he was fairly stoic, and according to one of his lawyers, he actually responded very maturely. He got up, gave probably a 60 to 90 second statement to the judge, expressing remorse and regret to everybody, and then he stood there. Like I said, he was very stoic, very mature, and very little reaction whatsoever.
I think a lot of people were shocked, though, about this sentence. Didn't expect to see quite that long. Do you think we're going to see Vick back in the NFL ever?
Actually, I do. Given the 23-month sentence, I guess with time off for good behavior and maybe enrolling in some rehabilitation programs and things like that, he could be out in the spring to early summer of 2009. And after that, he will be, he was born in late June of 1980. That would make him 29.
Yeah,
So,
but Dave, who do you think is going to take a chance on him now?
well, I think that there are probably a lot of teams that would be intrigued by him. And when you're talking a year to 2 years down the road, he will have served the penalty that the judge handed down. And I think a lot of people will have moved on by then, not to mention NFL fans and NFL teams, very much a bottom line kind of mentality. And if they think that you can help them, a lot of teams, I think, will be willing to take a chance on him.
All right, well, right now, Vick is not helping the Falcons because he's still part of their salary cap. When do they let him go?
I'm sorry, I missed the question again?
He's not helping the Falcons right now because of his salary. You know, they're above that salary cap. When do they let him go? When does that get resolved?
That won't get resolved, in my understanding, for at least another year, but that's something I'm not certain about, to tell you the truth.
All right, something fans are interested to see, though. Dave Fairbanks, thanks again for putting some perspective on this for us.
You're welcome.
Well, we have another lead recall to tell you about. We're going to give you that info coming up just ahead. Also, a huge fire breaks out at an oil refinery in Iraq. We'll tell you what caused that coming up tonight at 6.
Mugged for 47 cents, the victim, a 77-year-old woman who ends up in the hospital. I'm Warren Lieberman. I'll have that story coming up.
I'm Philip Forget, candidate for Congress, and I approve this ad. I served my country in Iraq as a naval reservist. I served my community as a public school teacher. I'm not a career politician. We need to bring an end to the Iraq War and bring a veteran's perspective to Congress. If you want real change, you have to choose something different. I'm a veteran and a teacher, not a career politician. It's your choice. I'm Philip Forget.
This year I learned man is not an island unto himself. There's room for at least one more person.
The Rolex Yachtmaster. The year it takes to make one is nothing compared to the time it takes to deserve one.
Feeling hungry?
Well, here comes Pizza Hut's Pizzone.
That's huge. With over 1 pound of melted cheese and tasty toppings baked in a pizza crust.
I'm feeling something I've never felt before. It's like the opposite of hunger. Unhunger. Unhunger.
Crush your hunger for just $5.99 or get 2 for $10.99. In classic, meaty, or pepperoni, the Pizzone is
genius.
Get more full. Get America's favorite pizza. Pizza Hut, now online.
The Super Duper 10 weather team is always on your side.
Mr. Whipple! Mr. Whipple! Mr. Whipple!
Ladies, please don't squeeze the Charmin.
The Chevy Red Tag event is really shaking things up with great offers this season. And while supplies last, get 0% financing on almost every 07 Chevy car, pickup, and SUV. Get 0% APR financing for 60 months for well-qualified buyers on every 07 Chevy SUV while supplies last. See some red and save some green during the Chevy Red Tag event. Click on Chevy.com, then see your local Chevy dealer.
Taking a look at news around the world, a prison riot in Venezuela leaves at least 15 inmates dead. The riot broke out Saturday after police say a group of prisoners took visiting relatives hostage. Police blame the riot on imprisoned paramilitary fighters. About 12 other inmates were hurt during the riot. Violence is common in Venezuelan prisons, which are generally overcrowded and understaffed. 5 inmates are killed, 25 others wounded after a mortar shell slammed into an interior ministry prison in Baghdad. The prison was made up of several cell blocks, each containing prisoners accused of terrorism-related crimes or civil offenses. The main interior ministry compound is located on the east bank of the Tigris River in central Baghdad. The round struck about 200 yards from the main ministry building.
Also in Iraq today, fire consumed one of the country's main oil refineries. Black smoke filled the sky above the Dora refinery in the Iraqi capital of Baghdad early this morning. Officials initially thought that a mortar attack was to blame, but later said an industrial accident was the cause. The refinery is one of the country's oldest, built in the 1950s. 2 people suffered minor injuries. Well, thinking of making a career change?
Well, it all starts where the jobs are, of course. 10 on your side takes a closer look at the list.
And tonight at 6, under inspection, where the Navy and Northrop Grumman Newport News Shipbuilding are investigating all Virginia-class submarines.
Give your family the most magical holiday gift, time spent together during the Snowland celebration at Great Wolf Lodge. Your family will enjoy our enormous indoor water park, along with all sorts of fun holiday festivities. There's no time like a Great Wolf time. Special Snowland rates at Great Wolf Lodge in Williamsburg start as low as just $199 a night, including water park passes. Call 1-800-551-WOLF or visit greatwolf.com for details.
Bottom Dollar Theater presents A Tale of Two Peaches.
Goodbye, sister. I'm getting on the truck to go to Bottom Dollar Food where the prices are just the peachiest.
Oh, dear. I'm going to a different store where they charge more. More. The vapors. I feel faint.
Oh, maybe you'll end up in a nice cobbler.
But what are those poor people who don't save at Bottom Dollar Food? Bless their little hearts.
Get all the groceries you need at Bottom Dollar prices.
The new quarter-pound double cheeseburger, 2 for $3 at Hardee's.
Over 300,000 people in the Hampton Roads area rely on the Food Bank of Southeastern Virginia and the Food Bank of the Peninsula to feed their families. Through the generosity of our employees and our customers, Jackson Hewitt would like to help put food on their tables. All you have to do is drop off your non-perishable food donation at the Jackson Hewitt nearest you. And to show our gratitude, Jackson Hewitt will take $15 off your paid tax preparation charge when you donate 5 cans of food. Your contribution is greatly appreciated.
Ever since Santa and his helpers went to the huge razor sale at Intello's,
It's kind of like they're finding money everywhere they look, because all our razors are on sale, including the new Razor 2. Color razors like the exclusive Intellos Plum Razor, plus the new Black Razor, starting at just 99 cents. So don't miss the big razor sale at Intellos. The savings are substantial. Intellos, the best value in wireless guaranteed.
It's for you.
In tonight's Consumer Alert, a class action lawsuit is settled and 30 million of you could cash in. The lawsuit against several credit card companies alleges they overcharged customers when converting foreign currencies into dollars. People making overseas purchases using Visa, MasterCard, or Diners Club cards issued by American banks between February 1st, 1996 and November of 2006 may be eligible for $25 in compensation. Log on to our website, WAVY.com, for information on how to file a claim. A pair of children's sunglasses are being recalled. The Consumer Product Safety Commission is pulling some 200,000 sunglasses off store shelves. Apparently, paint on the surface of the glasses contains, you guessed it, excessive levels of lead. The glasses were imported from another, you guessed it, China. For more information on a refund, simply call the company's recall hotline at 877-227-0104. You can also log on to WAVY.com and click on featured links for that number. Now, if you've wanted to make a career change, it's good to look where the jobs are. Experts say you don't need a medical degree to break into the healthcare field. There's a strong need for occupational and musical therapists to work with autistic children and the elderly. There's also a high demand for those who want to help the elderly, from shopping to cooking meals to working at assisted living homes. Stay with us. WAVY News 10 at 6 starts right now.
Live from the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
Suspended from the football field and fighting public perception.
But Michael will take advantage of this as a learning experience.
From the gridiron to the prison cell, what is in store for Michael Vick? The Newport News native will spend nearly 2 years behind bars for cruel and inhumane punishment and lying about a dogfighting ring. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alvita Ewell.
And I'm Tom Shad. Vick was sentenced today in a federal case, but still faces state charges. Just back from Richmond now. 10 on your side's Lori Crouch has our top story. Lori?
Tom, Judge Henry Hudson called this case a first of its kind. Two of Vick's co-defendants are already serving time. Today it was Vick's turn to hear his sentence in a case 10 on your side first broke in April. Chopper 10 first on the scene over a home owned by Michael Vick in April. Vick's cousin Devon Bodie's drug bust leads to a landfall case in federal court. Michael Vick, the star quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons, guilty on a federal charge of running a dogfighting operation. His endorsements gone, his home on the auction block, his dressy suits packed away. At his sentencing, Vick wore a black and white pinstriped prison jumpsuit. In front of Judge Henry Hudson, Vick's attorneys asked for leniency, but too many lies over the course of the investigation, and Hudson had made up his mind. 23 months in prison. Vick, flanked by his attorneys, apologized and said he's ready to accept responsibility for his actions. Hudson reminded him he also owes an apology to the millions of young people who looked up to him. Vick's response? Yes, sir. As Vick moves on, now so do the dogs.
We didn't want them to be euthanized. We felt like we could work with them. So we offered to take who was left.
22 of Vick's former dogs are now in the care of Patty Hedgewood and the Best Friends Animal Society. The 23-year-old Utah nonprofit is preparing to move the animals to their 33,000-acre sanctuary.
We don't even want to fool with them too much in the very beginning as far as trying to put them through too many rigorous tests. We just want to get them settled in and comfortable.
Hedgewood says if some of the dogs never adopt out, her group is prepared to care for them for the rest of their life. What makes this case so unique, according to Judge Hudson, the thousands of letters which have been mailed to the court from the likes of the mayor of Atlanta, Hank Aaron, George Foreman, condemning Vick's actions but supporting his commitment to the community. Lori Crouch, 10 on your side.
All right, difficult time there. The last of Vick's co-defendants, Tony Taylor, is set to be sentenced Friday. Two other co-defendants in this dogfighting case have already been sentenced. Last month, Pernell Peace got 18 months in prison, and Quantas Phillips was sentenced to 21 months.
Vick also faces state dogfighting charges in Surrey County. The Newport News native was not at last month's hearing, but he will be sentenced on those charges in April. 10 on Your Side was first to break the Michael Vick dogfighting case back in April. And we do continue to bring you the very latest developments on air as well as online. You can find all of our reports on our website, WAVY.com. Also read the U.S. Attorney's Office's new release, and you'll also find video of Vick's attorney, Billy Martin's full statements.
And other stories we're working tonight, too. James City County teens could be expelled from school after accusations they tried to poison a teacher. Tonight, the Lafayette high schoolers are serving 10-day suspensions. Authorities say they put Lysol into a 51-year-old teacher's coffee. He's okay. Now, school officials are locking up cleaning supplies.
And we're also asking our teachers to, might be a good idea to not leave an unattended beverage cup sitting around. Just take it with them if they're not going to be in the classroom.
Well, the 14 and 16-year-olds were charged with attempted poisoning. That could get them up to 20 years in prison. The school board is waiting on the police investigation before it decides if the boys will be expelled.
A teenager questioned tonight in connection with a triple shooting. One woman has died, 2 other men were hurt. Hampton police found 17-year-old Keith Lunsford through GPS of his cell phone. They say he broke into an apartment Sunday where the victims were found. Working the details tonight at 6, and on your side's Ava Hurdle. Ava.
Alveda, that teen has been questioned by police most of the day.
I'm still in shock. You know, so that happened about 6:30 yesterday morning.
Gail is on a first-name basis and doesn't want to open her door too wide to look at the door to the apartment where her neighbor, 38-year-old Kristen Hunter, was killed and 2 others wounded.
She'd borrow my telephone once in a while, and her mother is the rental manager over at the office.
Police say there was a break-in before Hunter was shot, along with a 37-year-old man and a 50-year-old man. Police identified 17-year-old Keith Lunsford as a suspect and released his picture to the media, which angers his father, Keith Sr.
My son is 17 years old, he a juvenile. They had no business putting his picture on the news or in the newspaper.
He says his son has not been tried before the courts.
After he a suspect, he ain't guilty. You know what I'm saying? I do my accusations. How many unsolved or how many beat murder cases do they have in the city of Hampton per year where people beat, charged where they be accused of murder?
He questions where are his son's legal rights. So far, and at last check, the 17-year-old had not been charged. We're told the deadly shooting victim leaves a teenager behind. Reporting live from Hampton tonight, I'm Ava Hurdle, 10 on Your Side.
And a jury's been selected and trial underway in the killing of a car salesman. Meredith Robbins Jr. faces first-degree murder in the death of Ted Brown. Police say that Robbins waited for Brown and shot him in the parking lot of Gloucester Toyota on Route 17 back in March.
New tonight, a brave 911 call leads to the arrest of 2 men during a robbery in Virginia Beach. 21-year-old Dominique Hobbs and 19-year-old Sean Massey are both facing several criminal charges tonight. Beach police say that on Friday, someone called in but didn't say anything. The dispatcher recognized a robbery was in progress and put officers on the case. Look for more on this story tonight on WAVY News 10 at 11.
And fire investigators want to know what sparked a brush fire in Virginia Beach. The flames have been burning at the corner of Elson Green Court and Princess Anne Road since noon today. Now, this only affected about 2 acres. Fire crews plan to let the fire burn itself out.
I did some screaming, tried to attract some attention.
Attacked in broad daylight, thieves get away with 50 cents while their victim nearly loses her leg. She talks with 10 on Your Side.
And all Virginia-class submarines under inspection. What the Navy and Northrop Grumman are concerned about.
And with no concern with today's weather, it was 75, 80 degrees for high temperatures. Yes, we broke the record high across much of the area. What's going on for tomorrow? Some changes, but still some warmth. You'll want to see our forecast.
Then out of cell phone range, stuck in rough waters, the Coast Guard is called into action to find missing boaters.
You're watching WAVY News 10 at 6 with Alveda Yule, Tom Shad, Chief Meteorologist Don Slater, and Bruce Rader Sports.
I'm Philip Forget, candidate for Congress, and I approve this ad. I served my country in Iraq as a naval reservist. I served my community as a public school teacher. I'm not a career politician. We need to bring an end to the Iraq War and bring a veteran's perspective to Congress. If you want real change, you have to choose something different. I'm a veteran and a teacher, not a career politician. It's your choice. I'm Philip Forget.
WAVY News 10, your most watched source for local news.
You need to go. You need to go.
Investigating a possible scam so large, state authorities get involved. On your side, keeping you safe from recalled toys on local store shelves. On your side, exposing the hazards of two-area bridges. And on your side, alerting you to a site selling pills without a prescription.
That doesn't seem right.
That's the power of 10 on your side.
See up-to-the-minute traffic tie-ups, accident reports, and more with 10 Time Saver Traffic.
WAVY TV is proud to salute partners on your side. Farm Fresh, Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, and Langley Federal Credit Union.
Goodman & Sons Jewelers, a family tradition since 1947.
Drive through for a better toasted sub, like our new chicken parmesan and meatball toasted subs, covered with marinara and melted mozzarella and served on toasted ciabatta bread. One bite and you'll be saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Bruce's Super Body Shops. You don't pay more, you just get more at Bruce's.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Harris. We want you to join us this week to test your brain power. Don't miss Battle of Brains on WAVY TV 10, brought to you by these sponsors.
Sit. Stay. Don't you wish Congress listened as well as these dogs do? I'm Rob Whitman. I think we need a new direction and some common sense. We've got a crisis on immigration, but they won't solve it. Our military needs training and equipment, but they won't fund it. We need a change. I'm Rob Whitman. I approve this message, and I need your help on December 11th. Good girl, Katie. Good girl.
Hi, this is Lieutenant Colonel Stephanie Smith coming to you from Camp Eggers in Kabul, Afghanistan. I'd like to wish my husband Tony and my kids Neil and Naomi in Chesapeake, Virginia, a very, very Merry Christmas. I'll be home soon. Love you.
New tonight from our partners at the Daily Press, all Virginia-class submarines are under inspection tonight. Northrop Grumman's Newport News shipyard and the Navy are looking at welds on the subs. The assessment is believed to have delayed sea trials and delivery of the USS North Carolina. It was supposed to be handed over to the Navy at the end of the month.
Well, 25 people officially became U.S. citizens today.
That I will support and defend.
You're listening to the Oath of Citizenship at the annual Colonial Williamsburg Naturalization Ceremony, a 32-year tradition. It was sponsored by the Colonial Williamsburg and the Daughters of the American Revolution.
On the political front tonight, a special election is set for tomorrow to find a successor to fill the late U.S. Representative Joanne Davis's seat. Davis represented the 1st Congressional District, which includes Hampton, Newport News, Williamsburg, Poquoson, and Fredericksburg. Vying for the job, Republican Rob Whitman, Democrat Phil Forget, and Independent Lucky Narain. Now, 10 on your side's political reporter Andy Fox profiled each candidate. So learn more about them and see where they stand on the issues by logging on to our website, wavy.com.
And while you're online, you can also find out where you need to vote. The polls are open from 6 a.m. until 7 p.m.
Still ahead tonight at 6.
A 77-year-old woman mugged for 47 cents. She goes to the hospital and needs surgery. I'm Warren Lieberman. I'll have that story coming up.
Find your next home from the comfort of your living room. Log on to You're at Home on wavy.com.
With Honda's fuel-saving variable cylinder management system, to help maximize fuel efficiency, you'll be spending less time in front of these and more time behind the wheel of this. From the most fuel-efficient auto company in America, the all-new 2008 Accord from Honda.
Hey, Vito, you want cheesesteak? Hey, cheesesteak.
Cheesesteak.
What? Yeah, we got burgers.
Hey, what's a burger?
Hey, Pop, he wants a cheesesteak and a burger on $1.
We do that? We don't do that.
We don't do that.
The Philly Cheesesteak Thick Burger at Hardee's.
This group, come on!
It's not easy going it alone. That's why we're making it easier than ever to get a State Farm agent for car insurance. In Norfolk, call State Farm agents Joe Query or Jim Clark 24/7. Stop by or go to statefarm.com. Online, on the phone, or in the office. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
WAVY TV's mission is to be on your side in our daily news coverage and in the community.
As a partner on your side, Jackson Hewitt Tax Service is proud to work with WAVY TV 10 to honor the efforts of remarkable people within our community and to lend a helping hand to our neighbors in need.
Visit My Community on WAVY.com for information about the programs sponsored by partners on your side.
Learn about these outreach programs, submit nominations, or contact us directly. Jackson Hewitt Tax Service and WAVY TV 10.
Partners on your side.
Lunch is always changing at Golden Corral. Now you can enjoy a different daily special every Monday through Friday. Tuesday's temptation is Viva Italian. Introducing our new stromboli, stuffed with ham, pepperoni, and fresh vegetables. Or made from scratch pizzas. Plus another Italian favorite, homemade meatballs with marinara sauce. Enjoy lunch in a different way every Monday through Friday, only at Golden Corral.
Out of cell phone range and in trouble. The Coast Guard based in Portsmouth says 4 men aboard a boat last seen leaving Willoughby Bay Wednesday are safe. Oof. Friends and family hadn't heard from the men until today when they arrived off the coast of Jacksonville, Florida. When you hit the water, the Coast Guard says it's important to let people know where you're going.
But making sure somebody knows if your float plan changes and having that communication system on your vessel to be able to communicate that back to shore.
Coast Guard crews sent up planes yesterday and were planning on an exhaustive search today until they found out the sailboat was safely docked in Florida.
A 77-year-old woman is mugged a block away from her Norfolk home. The attackers got away with 50 cents.
That's it. Doctors say her injuries were so severe she almost lost her leg. 10 on your side's Oren Lieberman is live at the scene of the attack on Biltmore Road. Oren, you spoke with the victim and her son.
That's right. I spoke with Pauline Tittle and George Tittle. This has become a very important story to this community. Pauline Tittle was very popular here. All the neighbors watched her as she walked around to make sure she was okay. No one ever expected anything like this to happen.
And because I couldn't get up and tell anybody, but I did some screaming to try to attract some attention.
If there's one thing 77-year-old Pauline Tittle has plenty of right now, it's attitude. You said, you'd like to give these 2 guys a piece of your mind.
Well, it's not a piece of my mind, honey. It's my fist.
Pauline was attacked outside of her Norfolk home this past Friday while walking with her grandson to get some medication. She says 2 men who she'd seen around for about a week started walking towards her.
They turn around and come back, but they don't have anything in their hands. And they never spoke either. Never said a word.
Pauline was mugged, her bag ripped out of her hands, and all the money inside taken, all 47 cents.
I have it over my shoulder, and I bring my arm down, and I have it right here. But I have my hands through the straps out around so that I can hold it real, real tight. But he got it off of there, and I didn't think anybody ever could.
Tittle went through surgery to repair a hip broken in the attack. Her son George, who had been home earlier in the week to visit his terminally ill father, came back to see his mother.
And they're just going to hurt somebody. Someone's going to put up a struggle eventually. I mean, she's hurt, but we still have her here.
Pauline Tittle says her neighborhood has other elderly people who can be easy victims for a mugger. She'd like to see these men arrested before anyone else ends up in the hospital. George Tittle is offering a $1,000 reward for any tips that lead to the arrest of these 2 men. That's in addition to the Crime Line reward of up to $1,000. If you know anything about these 2 men, call the Crime Line. That's 1-888-LOCK-YOU-UP. Live in Norfolk, Oren Lieberman, 10 on your side.
Coming up tonight, yes, without a doubt. Coming up tonight on Fox 43 News at 10, the reruns continue, and so does the writers' strike.
But writers are getting a few perks for being on the picket lines. It includes everything from coffee to Botox.
Well, tonight, a look at how some businesses are offering support. That's after K-ville on Fox 43 News at 10. Then, new tonight at 11, a classic book cut from the curriculum.
Why parents are saying some of Mark Twain's words aren't appropriate for students. That's coming up at 11.
Always live, always on your side. Super Dopper 10.
And we have had a few showers into the area, especially toward the northern neck. They have been dropping eastward. Here's a look at Super Dot Pretend Live. We move in for a closer view of things, and you can see some of these scattered showers moving generally eastward toward the northern neck, but starting to fall apart. So things are not looking real big for rain. We still need the rain rather badly, over a foot below normal for the entire year. So there's no rain out there right now, but I'm going to use this map to let you know what's going on. You'll be able to see it in other maps as well, but there's a front right about through here, right on into the Melfa area, and that front is dropping slowly southward. Now that front has a southwesterly breeze on one side of it and more of a northerly breeze on the other side of it. Well, it's obviously cooler with a northerly breeze and much warmer, record-breaking warmth to the south of it. We're going to talk about the fact that things will be changing a little bit, but not all that much. We're still going to see some very pleasant weather over the next several days. It'll be a little bit cooler, though, farther northward. You can see some of those stray showers falling apart. A little bit more cloud cover across the middle peninsula, the northern neck, the eastern shore. And what have we got going on at 9 o'clock? Now, I mentioned that front right now is right about into here. By 9 o'clock, it hasn't moved very much at all. Still a chance of rain. I don't think we're going to see thunderstorms with it, but we'll see a few stray showers during the evening hours, especially for the eastern shore. Southwesterly breeze at 10 to 15. But things start to change just a little bit. Winds start to flip over to the north of that front. It's ever so slowly moving. We're just calling it stationary for now. Here's where things are at 2 o'clock in the morning. Take it to 7 o'clock in the morning, more of a northeasterly breeze, but then it lifts back northward. It'll cool off overnight, and we'll see some patchy, dense fog. But then at the noon hour, even then things are starting to change. Winds flipping on over to the southeast and then south. And by the end of the day, it's back on up into the 70s across much of the area. So again, we got some changeable weather overnight, but the sum total is we end up with an afternoon that's really going to warm up again. Now for Wednesday, it'll really warm on up again, much like we saw today. Here's where we are, 7 o'clock in the morning, 10 to 20 mile an hour breezes out of the southwest. Take it to the noon hour, west southwesterly breeze at 10 to 20, but then at the very end of the day, you can see it dropping close to the Virginia-North Carolina border. Winds start to shift over. There is some rain to the north. So basically with this front, anytime that front is to the north, things are going to be warm, and it's going to be to the north over the next couple of days. It is going to be warm across much of the area. Cloud cover, a little bit of thin cloud cover made for a beautiful sunset tonight, and right now we've got partly cloudy skies, just some thin cloud cover, 65 to 69 degrees. There's our low last night, and our high today with an asterisk, 78 degrees, and that means that we broke the old record, 73 degrees, set back 20 years ago. We shattered that record by 5 degrees. So again, very unusually warm day. Local temperatures 55 now in Melfa with that cooler air dropping in, and again upper 60s to around 70 elsewhere. 47 at Chincoteague, Wallops Island. So again, there is some cooler air dropping on in overnight. It'll drop to 50, 55, but it'll warm back up again for tomorrow. 68, 77, 78 degrees. Lots of sunshine here. Bit more cloud cover to the south side, between 73 and 77 for a high. Morning cloud cover. For the peninsula, I think we'll see some late afternoon clearing, 72 to 75. And for the middle peninsula, northern neck, eastern shore, a little bit cooler, especially into Accomack County, 64, 67, then 70 degrees. 73, but that's a roundabout figure. Everywhere between 60 all the way on up to 77, and then pretty solidly warm on Wednesday. Cooler weather coming up Thursday, and a lot cooler weather coming up by the end of the week. And I want to take this time,
yeah,
this
but
moment.
You know what? I think the reason, really, because he came up from Florida.
It came up from Florida.
That's why the weather's so hot.
But no, this is like, I haven't left.
This is Tom Shad, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah.
Came here from Orlando.
Welcome him. I hope you will welcome him too.
Very happy to have you with the
Here
WAVY
from Orlando
team.
for 12 years, and I've so far been here a couple of weeks, and I absolutely love it.
Well, we love the weather,
Had a great time, and the weather is fantastic.
It'll change.
77 is going to stay? All right.
Yeah, right.
All right, Michael Vick heard his prison sentence today, but what about his football career?
And Vick's former coach speaks out. Bruce Rader continues our team coverage of the Michael Vick story. As WAVY News 10 at 6 continues.
K&G wants you to look your best this holiday season. So right now, you'll find select lady suits, 2 for just $90, and select designer label suits, 2 for just $180. Celebrate in style with K&G. K&G Fashion Superstore. For men, for women, for less.
Half-price drinks taste even better than regular price drinks.
I know.
You know?
I gotta say, I enjoy the concept of happy hour, but I feel like it's not accurate because it's from 2 to 4. It should be happy hours.
That just doesn't, that has no, like, pop to it, though.
A couple hours of drink fun.
Unsad, wet afternoon chunk.
Maybe happy hours.
I like that.
Yeah,
no, I like that.
That's better.
Happy hour at Sonic. Over 168,000 fountain drink and slush combinations, like our strawberry limeade. Half price from 2 to 4 p.m. every day, because Sonic is your ultimate drink stop.
K&G wants you to look your best this holiday season. So right now, you'll find select men's suits, 2 for just $150, and select designer label suits, 2 for just $300. Celebrate in style with K&G. K&G Fashion Superstore. For men, for women, for less.
NFL on NBC is right here on WAVY TV 10 every Sunday beginning at 7.
Today I really struggled with my fibromyalgia. I had pain all over. My muscles ached, so tender to the touch. Fibromyalgia is a real widespread pain condition, which also makes daily activities difficult. But until recently, there were no medicines approved by the FDA to manage fibromyalgia. Prescription Lyrica is the first and only FDA-approved treatment that can help relieve fibromyalgia pain and improve function. Lyrica is not for everyone. Some of the most common side effects of Lyrica are dizziness, sleepiness, weight gain, and swelling of hands and feet. Tell your doctor right away about any serious allergic reaction that causes swelling or affects your breathing or your skin, or about any changes in your eyesight or muscle pain along with a fever or tired feeling. You should not drive or operate machinery until you know how Lyrica affects you. Ask your doctor if Lyrica is right for you.
Find your car at WAVY.com. Great deals from the dealers in Hampton Roads, where they're only just a click away. From the comfort of home or anywhere, find your next car or truck today. You can search by make and model or by payment to compare prices, save money, get a quote for you. Click and save your money and time when you find your car at WAVY.com.
Talking about Michael Vick's sentence today, and of course what it means for his NFL career.
That's right. Sometimes we
Gotta ask
forget
that.
he actually is a football player. As you probably saw earlier in the newscast, Atlanta Falcons quarterback Michael Vick was sentenced to 23 months in prison today for running a dogfighting operation and killing pit bulls that did not test well as fighting dogs. As far as his future in football, he definitely won't be able to play in the NFL until at least 2009. He still faces the league suspension and state charges. Vick grew up in Newport News, graduated from Warwick High School, and quarterbacked the Virginia Tech football team to the national championship game in 2000. His former college coach, Frank Beamer, released the following statement this afternoon, saying, in his opinion, Michael Vick is a good person with a good heart who used bad judgment and made mistakes. He understands that. He knows that he needs to change and needs to be concerned with whom he associates. Chris Reckling joins us live. Chris, any thoughts on if Vick will play again in the NFL?
Bruce, it certainly is a good possibility, but it would be in the 2009 season at the earliest. Before Vick can see the field again, 3 things must happen. First and foremost, Michael Vick must complete his jail sentence. If Vick gets 3 months reduced from his sentence for good behavior, the 27-year-old could be out of federal prison as soon as July of 2009. That would be about the same time NFL training camp is just getting underway. The next important step for Vick is to be reinstated by the league. Vick was suspended indefinitely by NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Once Vick is out of prison, he will meet with Goodell to discuss a possible return to the NFL and a possible league suspension. If Vick is reinstated by Goodell, the next important step is to find a team. There is very little chance that Vick will play for Atlanta. He is yet to be cut by the Falcons, and they don't have to cut him until 2009 at the earliest. So with the Falcons out of the equation, if Vick plays again, it's up to another team to take the chance. There is no doubting Michael Vick's talent and ability to play the game. Some team would surely give him a second chance. Here's another question. Would Vick return as a quarterback or at another position? Vick will be 29 when he gets out of prison, still fairly young to play the game, but he will be out of the game for a very long time. Chris Reckling, 10 on your side.
Chris, thanks for that insight. We'll keep an eye on the story as it develops and let you know what the NFL has to say. Redskins fans, well, you'll be watching the Skins here on WAVY the next 2 weeks. NBC has scheduled the Redskins for 2 straight Sunday night football games this week against the Giants and next week, December 23rd, against the Vikings. The Vikings have a 1-game lead over the Redskins for the final wild card spot. The Redskins travel to New York to meet the Giants this weekend in a crucial Sunday night football matchup, and then the Vikings all here on WAVY TV 10.
A lot of people watching those games. That's going to wrap it up for us at 6, but we're still online.
That's right. We'll see you at wavy.com and see you here at 11.
The Chevy Red Tag event is really shaking things up with great offers this season. And while supplies last, get 0% financing on almost every 07 Chevy car, pickup, and SUV. Get 0% APR financing for 60 months for well-qualified buyers on almost every 07 Chevy car while